before today's game, we're going to take a look at a couple of new features that have rolled out. The first, as you see, I have a whole bunch of windows open, and down here we have a new button uh, with previous and next written on it. I can left click on this and drag it around to wherever is convenient. What this does is this allows me to cycle through windows on the desktop here. So I can go to Map, Spells, Investigator, Images, whatever. Just left click to go back and forth. Okay. Uh, let's get rid of a bunch of these. Now, second thing is something that we've always had, but I don't know how much you use it. Down here at the bottom, we have numbers 1 through 12. Now, if I press Shift, I get a different group. Control and Alt give me more. And what this does is I can take something and put it down here. For example, I took this battle map and I dragged it down here. And now, whenever I want that battle map, I can just bring it up. Now as well, you can put other things besides battle maps here. For example, if I want to add a certain dice combination, for example, right click, I've got 2 dice here, I drop them in. Now I've got 2d10, I click on it and roll whenever I want to. All right, now if I want to get rid of these, I right click, clear slot. Now the next thing, I'm not sure if you have this, but I have this, and what this is this is a, these are little tabs where I can add information. So I can go up here, I can right click, add a new tab, click on this, okay, and let's call this, I don't know, items. Oh, oh, silly me, rename tab, items. So right click, okay, let's try that again. Okay, right click to rename the tab. Okay, now I have this tab called items. Okay, and if I want to just keep items up all the time, Fantasy Grounds not responding. Okay, now I've got this up. Now I can click this and it goes away. I want it again, it's back. And I can have a bunch of these up here. Now again, if I want to get rid of that, right click, delete tab. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to go to Notes. I'm not actually going to bring this up because this has my players' names and other personal information about it. Some of you have already been using this, but you can click this and, for example, almost any of these things have the same thing. Down here you've got a little button that says Edit List. You can click that. You have a green button that says Add Item. And on Notes you can do the same thing. Now in Notes I've decided to organize everybody's notes by their character name, so that way you just look for your character name and you can see all the notes that you've created. Now the next thing I want to show you is right up here, there's a calendar. Okay, and I can bring down the calendar, and what you can do is, I believe, you can click on a day and you can add a log entry. Now mine allows me to add something as GM or player, and I've never tried this out as a player, but I believe as a player you can add notes to our calendar. Now I'm going to go here to delete event and get rid of that event I just made. We don't need it. But for example, all these red buttons here are things that I've loaded up. And for example, here on the 24th of Myrtle, we reached Wave Echo Cave. This helps me keep track of what day of the week it is. But we can also add other things later. All right. The last couple of things I want to look at, one is over here, shops. Shops is very useful. Little by little, I'm adding Waterdeep shops. So for example, if I want to go here to the Bent Nail, the Bent Nail has a number of different things, mostly wooden-based things, and you can add to cart. When you have the things you want to do, you can buy it and it'll automatically take the money out of your character. Okay. And the last thing is over here, Investigator. Now, if you don't see the Investigator tab, go here to Library and make sure you have Investigator checked. Now, what this does, this is going to be really, really important when we get to the next stage of our adventure, because this is going to be information that I give you about groups, places, events, things like that in Waterdeep. So, for example, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist or the Talismans. Let's say I go to the Talismans here. It gives all the information that we got about the talismans, as well as things like the image of our talisman, uh, uh, individual pieces. For example, Hyan's talisman looks like this because Teus cut them open and looked at them, and your key looks like this. So for your talismans, we have a lot of information. Now, since I'm not entered as a player here, I'm just the GM, I can't see it, but I understand that on the player side, there should be a little icon right here that you can click and players can add their own information to this. So that's going to become very, very important later on. Because once we get to Waterdeep, we're going to have a whole bunch of people, we're going to have a whole bunch of groups and places and other things to keep track of, and this will help you a lot. Now, World Builder, this is mostly for me. I don't even know if you can see this, but over time I'm going to be adding information and about various people that are involved in our game. For example, you've already learned a little bit about the character Dalakar, so I've added information about Dalakar, and over time I'm going to add to this as we know more. And so I believe these are available to the players. If not, I think um, there's a way for me to click on this and share it. Um, but that's going to become, again, more important as we go along. So those are just a couple of things that we have. And once we get into the game, we'll go over a few things for the characters. All right. Thank you very much.